Specialty in the Championship this week, with Gary Johnson leaving his job at Bristol City.
They're just a point above Ipswich, where Roy Keane now feels changes have to be made for the club to flourish. Donovan Blake has our weekend preview.
Owen Garvin's early substitution during Ipswich's poor display at Watford in midweek suggests he's tested his manager's patience once too often, although Roy Keane admitted there were other candidates in the frame to be taken off early, underlining just how upset he was at Vicarage Road. Ipswich are back on home soil tomorrow against Barnsley, but Keane is concerned that players are not firing on all cylinders wherever they play.
We're at home and the players will probably be ready for the home games. It's just the away games that are a problem. Obviously, some of our players don't like travelling. They miss the home comforts of their dressing room. Good players don't necessarily make good characters, and it's characters we need at the football club, and it's characters we'll find out about over the next 8-9 games.
Peterborough's growing confidence was shattered with their midweek defeat against Doncaster, but at least they won't face former skipper George Boyd at Nottingham Forest because of the terms of his loan deal. Norwich may be 7 points clear in League One, but talk of promotion is still premature, according to manager Paul Lambert, even with just 10 games left. They're at Swindon tomorrow, who are closing in on the top two.
We know it's a tough game. Swindon have done great to get themselves in there. We had a hard game against them, and at home, a hard game against them in the Johnston Paints. And I don't see this being any different.
There's 11 games to go for Adi Boothroyd's Colchester, who visit Walsall. They've slipped to 6th, but the top two is still their target. And 11 games left too for Southend to save themselves. They're 3 points from safety. Alan McCormack returns from suspension for the visit of Carlisle. Donovan Blake, Anglia News.
Well, if you're looking for World Cup omens, there weren't too many good ones in Ipswich today. A mini-tournament's been taking place to raise money for sport relief. There were 32 teams representing the finalists in South Africa. England failed to score, I'm afraid, and went out in the first round. And Algeria, their group rivals in the real thing, beat Greece on penalties in the final.
Now then, when was the last time you got something for nothing? Actually, when was the last time you got something for nothing?
I was given a plant today for my desk.
You are just one of the lucky ones, aren't you? Well, it doesn't happen that often in today's world, just Becky's.
But this weekend, head to dozens of National Trust properties across the region and you will get a freebie.
Yep, not only will you get into their stately homes and the like, absolutely free, nada, nothing, you'll be actively encouraged to touch some of the exhibits, whatever next.
Serena Sandhu has all the details.
Parkland, woodland and gardens. The surroundings of Felbrigg Hall in Norfolk are a haven for wildlife, and on a spring day it's a gardener's delight. But gardeners here have been working around the clock after one of the hardest winters for years.
The snow, probably 2 feet deep in places, has just been, just been a nightmare. And then obviously with the hard frosts down to -8 some nights, has really taken its toll on a few of the sort of tenderer shrubs.
For 400 years, Felbrigg Hall has been home to a succession of families, and behind the Stuart architecture there's a fascinating mix of periods.
I think it's the warmth that this building seems to give to people. People go away from here and say, I could actually live in that property.
It's a nice, comfortable place. It's not too grand, but it's grander than we're used to living in.
Felbrigg Hall is one of dozens of National Trust properties across the region that will be opening their doors for free this weekend. You can explore the Jacobean-style Anglesey Abbey in Cambridgeshire, or search for deer in Hatfield Forest near Bishop Stortford, or visit the Anglo-Saxon burial site at Sutton Hoo in Suffolk. Back at Felbrigg, volunteers work year-round to breathe life into the property and enlighten visitors into how its owners would have lived. The dining room's been set up for a Victorian dinner party. The 1860s menu includes oyster patties and mutton cutlets for the first course, followed by pheasant for the main and ramekins for dessert. With properties opening their doors for free this weekend, there's plenty of opportunity to step back in time and explore the history of some of the region's grandest buildings. Serena Sandhu, Anglia News, Felbrigg in Norfolk.
How delightful. Well, someone who could do with a bit of that over the weekend is the endurance athlete Jackson Williams. The former professional boxer set off yesterday on a 30-hour charity run from Norwich to London. That's in aid of Sport Relief. Incredibly, he's doing the whole thing barefoot.
Well, Jackson was due to arrive in the capital in about half an hour or so, but we have just heard that he's had to revise that target a little bit because of a foot injury. He's now 7 miles away from his new destination of Epping. That's exactly 100 miles from Norwich. I bet he's got a few blisters.
Oh, how big are those blisters going to be? Gigantic. Now, we may be a bit biased, but we don't think there's anywhere nicer than the east of England. But it seems not everyone agrees, do they?
No, surprisingly enough, the hotel company Travelodge surveyed 5,000 people to find out which towns and cities people would least like to visit. And somewhere in our region came out 8th.
Extraordinarily so. So where is that unpopular place? Martin Stew will tell us.
So, one of the cities here in the east of England has been voted in the bottom 10 places people would like to visit. But can you guess from these clues which city it is? It's a major hub for train commuters.
Oh, Milton Keynes?
No, it's a little bit older. In fact, it's been visited by King Canute, William the Conqueror and Oliver Cromwell.
Oh, Cambridge.
Guess again. In the past, it's been renowned for its brewery and its sugar beet factory.
Bury St Edmunds.
Nope. Final clue, and this should help. It's renowned for its cathedral.
Ely? Oh, right. Oh, I'm surprised.
Yes, unbelievably, she's right, even with one of the most iconic cathedrals in all of Europe. And this picture postcard view, Ely's come 8th in a list of places people would least like to visit. And it's got some pretty uninspiring company. Joining Ely's quaint streets and tea rooms in the bottom 10 are Bradford, dubbed dangerous, ugly and boring, Wakefield and the ever-charming Sunderland.
Unbelievable that we should be mixed in with those sorts of cities. Well, we think we're a beautiful cathedral city here with an awful lot to offer. Beautiful riverside, a renowned cathedral, and just so much happening here.
And people in Ely were pretty shocked too.
Really, I'm really surprised, very surprised, because Ely is a really pretty place.
I can't believe it. It's a very nice place to visit, especially for a little day trip. You've got the river, you've got the maltings, so what's not to like?
I heard it on our local radio this morning and I just couldn't believe it. Because of the river and obviously the cathedral and all the historic places in Ely, it's just unbelievable.
So just why did Ely fare so badly? Well, according to Travelodge, who carried out the survey, the simple truth is 72% of people don't even know where Ely is. Well, I'm going to show you on this map. Here it is, just north of Cambridge. If you've not been, look it up, because a city this beautiful deserves to be visited. Martin Stew, Anglia News, Ely.
Of course, it's also been a film location.
It has, yeah. I'm afraid, ashamed to say I haven't been there. I've got to go. It looks lovely on the train.
It is beautiful. It's good enough for Hollywood, it's good enough for us. Well, Ely might be struggling to attract the tourists, but better news for a pair of volunteer tour guides in Norfolk who are celebrating their emerald wedding anniversary.
It is an impressive feat for any couple, but it's even more special when you find out their surname, because this here is Mr. and Mrs. Marriage from Thorpe Hamlet near Norwich.
55, yes, that's emerald. 55 years ago today, Jim and June tied the knot, and they say they have no regrets. So, of course, we just had to ask, what is their secret to a great marriage?
Well, we laugh quite a lot together, don't we? Yeah. we don't have many... We have disagreements, but never a row. And I always kiss her last thing at night, so that we can start the next day fresh again.
You go into the card shops these days, you can get 100-year birthday cards. So, we might go on for quite a few more years.
I'm sure you will.
Always kiss at night.
Yeah,
That's
lovely. What wonderful advice, isn't it? Well, did you know that more than 200 people in the UK have the surname Marriage? And actually, around 90% of marriages, that's the people, live in Chelmsford. Extraordinary statistic.
And more than 100 people have the name Bouquet. And there's even a confetti in London. Did you know that? But you'll be pleased to know that no one has the surname Divorce.
Well, that's lucky. Well, we've still got the all-important weekend weather to come, but the news hour continues here on ITV1 after that.
Here's a quick look at what Alistair Stewart...
Well, we've had the windows open for the first time this year, which is nice. Let's see if you're going to be able to get your legs out or cover them up this weekend. Here's Amanda then with the weather.
of the country during this afternoon, and that is now moving.
Definitely legs in weather, I think.
Oh, I think so. See you next week. All the best. Bye.
Bye.